Okay, so let's move into the BOMs. So BOM is basically all the different component which will be used to create the assembly, which defined as a bill of material. And it is very crucial to have your BOM accurate, because if your BOM is not accurate, your pricing of the assembly, sub-assembly, or your final product is not accurate. And that is why we need a time that goes into when you are making something. So let's go back to NetSuite environment, and I have the same assembly that we just created. If you go under the manufacturing, and if you go into edit mode, you will have an options to add your bill of materials. Now with the bill of material, one thing to note is there are two type of bill of material. One is the bill of material which is tagged and assigned to assembly, and another one is a bill of material which is a standalone transaction. Now a standalone bill of material is mainly used when you are making a generic product which you would like to keep it as a stock. As an example, let's say I'm running a printing business where I am making a white t-shirt as a bulk. Then based on the customer order, I just do a print on the t-shirt and I will dispatch to my client. In that scenario, what I will do is I will have a standalone BOM which will be a white t-shirt. What are the things that goes as a component? What are the labor hour that goes into that particular making that white t-shirt? And I will just create a work order for those. Once I have that white t-shirt created and stored as a stock, as my orders comes in, I will put down one component which will be a effort or a printing, and use that as an inventory and finalize my work order. Let's say bike test, we are creating a bill of material. So first thing first, we put down what we want to call it. So bike test bill of material, of course. And for now, I would like to include all of the children and the parent subsidiary as well. And I will go save and save on the assembly line. Now, the next step is adding your components. So once you go back to your bill of material, you will have an option to create revisions, assemblies, system notes, and communication. So bill of material, NetSuite functionality is bill of material revisions, where you can actually define to the system that this particular revision I will be using for 2025 year, for example, and moving forward, I have a different version. Another example could be I am using 10 components to make a bike or a bicycle right now. But from next year, due to the technology enhancement, I'm using only 8 components, but I still would like to record that what I was doing in the past. That's where your revision comes into the picture. So let's say when you go to the create revision, the first one would be VNMT by 01. Let's say silver, now random name. Starting date would be today. And for me, there is no end date unless as a business we decide to change something within the process. I use cables, let's say 4 of them. Another component that I use is chain, say 2 of them. I extend one of them again. I think that's all enough for our demonstration purpose. So once I save it, it will come up under the revisions that this is my name of the BOM revision. This is the starting date, and this is the effective end date, which is blank here. That means unless we don't put down an end date, system will by default pick up this particular version whenever you create a work order for that particular BOM. Under the assemblies, you will get a list of the assemblies. I got a question from Abhi, sorry, on the Teams. What is the purpose of component yield? Good question, Abhi. So component yield is mainly used for the how much percentage of your component went into your final product. Here we are talking about bike. So if you're using one chain or one brake, it will be a one chain and one brake into your final product. But let's talk about a scenario where you are making a cake, for example, where you see that 5 liter of sugar coating went into as a component, but only 75% will come on your final product. So in that scenario, your component will become a 75% because you lose that 25 during the heating process or baking process or any other things that actually reduce that amount. I hope that makes sense and answer your question.
Yes, Jay.
Perfect.
One more question.
Yep.
When you were in the revisions tab, there was a column called as item source.
Mhm.
What's that for? Can you
Yes,
open up the
so
page?
sure, no problem. So the item source that you are referring to, it's you are actually defining to the system that either the system should be using as a stock, or there is another option as a purchase order. So let's say if it's a very high expensive item which you would like to only purchase when you have a work order and a commitment from your customer, then you normally set it up as a purchase order. Let's say for example engine, as some of the person mentioned already, that if it's very high cost value, then you normally go as a purchase order. You don't prefer to keep it as a stock.
Makes sense.
Okay. Abhi, you have a question still?
Yeah. So what
Yep.
happens when you add another revision? Does the revision one would still work?
No. So one revision will work at one time. So that's a good thing. Let's take an example here. So let's say if I go and put down this particular revision, before that, so create a new revision. Name is version 2, and I will say that start date is 28. So from that 28, this particular revision will be used whenever you create a work order for that particular assembly. So the previous revision will not become inactive. It will still stay there for your reference purpose, but it won't be used in your day-to-day transaction anymore from that particular date. I think that's all of the concerns so far. All good.